Imagine a single decision that could multiply your income while you sleep. A strategy so ancient, yet so powerful, that it built kingdoms and secured legacies for generations. King Solomon, the wealthiest ruler in recorded history, left behind a financial blueprint hidden in plain sight within the pages of Ecclesiastes. Today, you will discover the 7-stream strategy that transformed the ancient world and can transform your financial future. This is not about working harder. This is about understanding a principle that predates modern finance by 3,000 years. The river of wisdom flows in 7 directions, and each stream carries abundance to those who know how to channel it. The modern world speaks of passive income as if it were a recent invention, a digital age phenomenon born from internet marketplaces and automated systems. Yet ancient wisdom reveals a different story. Scripture teaches us that wealth flows not from labor alone, but from the intelligent arrangement of resources to serve a purpose beyond immediate consumption. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 10 reminds us that whoever loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor whoever loves wealth with income. This is the first revelation. Passive income is not about escaping work or finding shortcuts to prosperity. It is about understanding the relationship between effort, stewardship, and multiplication. Solomon observed what many modern seekers fail to grasp. There exists a fundamental difference between earned income and cultivated income. Earned income demands your presence, your time, your physical energy in direct exchange for compensation. The moment you stop working, the income stops flowing. Cultivated income, however, springs from seeds planted wisely, systems built thoughtfully, and resources allocated with vision. The farmer who plants a vineyard works intensively during planting season, yet the vineyard continues producing fruit year after year with maintenance far lighter than the initial investment of labor. This is the principle embedded in biblical teaching. The myth of lazy money haunts many who seek passive income. They imagine wealth flowing effortlessly, requiring no wisdom, no planning, no stewardship. This fantasy leads to disappointment and financial ruin. Solomon witnessed countless individuals pursue riches without understanding, and he recorded the outcome in Proverbs. The one who works his land will have abundant food, but the one who chases fantasies will have his fill of poverty. Passive income is never truly passive in its creation. It requires active wisdom in the building phase, strategic thinking in the design phase, and careful stewardship in the maintenance phase. The revelation hidden in Scripture distinguishes between wise investment and foolish speculation. Wise investment plants seeds in fertile ground, diversifies across multiple fields, and expects harvest over seasons rather than days. Foolish speculation chases the appearance of quick gain without examining the foundation. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 5 teaches that the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. The principle applies directly to modern wealth building. Those who seek passive income through understanding and careful construction build streams that flow for decades. Those who seek it through shortcuts and schemes find dried riverbeds and broken promises. At the heart of Solomon's wisdom lies a principle so vital that it appears in Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 2 as both instruction and warning. Give a portion to 7, or even to 8, for you know not what disaster may happen on earth. This single verse contains the entire philosophy of diversification, the cornerstone of sustainable wealth across generations. Solomon understood what modern portfolio theory would not articulate for 3 millennia. Concentration creates vulnerability. Distribution creates resilience. Picture the ancient merchant preparing for a long trading season. He stands before his warehouse, filled with goods representing his entire wealth. He faces a choice. He can load everything onto a single ship heading to one destination, maximizing potential profit if that voyage succeeds. Or he can divide his goods among 7 different vessels, traveling 7 different routes to 7 different ports. The first option promises higher returns if fortune smiles. The second option guarantees survival if fortune frowns. Solomon observed that the wise merchant always chooses survival first, abundance second. The principle extends beyond physical goods into every dimension of wealth. Consider the farmer who plants 7 different crops in 7 different fields. Drought may damage 3 fields, but 4 continue producing. Locusts may devastate 2 crops, but 5 remain untouched. The farmer who plants only one crop in one field bets his entire future on perfect conditions. One season of blight destroys everything. One market shift eliminates all value. Solomon recognized that the created world contains inherent uncertainty. Weather changes, markets shift, disasters strike without warning. The wise steward acknowledges uncertainty and builds accordingly. This teaching confronts a temptation that plagues every generation. The temptation to put all resources into the single opportunity that seems most promising. The business venture that cannot fail. The investment that guarantees returns. The skill that will always remain valuable. History records countless individuals who concentrated everything in one place, convinced of certain success, only to watch that certainty crumble. The ancient world saw merchant empires collapse when their single trade route closed. The modern world sees fortunes evaporate when a dominant industry transforms overnight. Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 2 speaks to this reality with profound clarity. You know not what disaster may happen on earth. This is not pessimism. This is realism tempered with wisdom. The wise person does not predict every possible disaster. The wise person builds a structure that withstands disasters they cannot predict. 7 streams mean that when 3 streams dry up, 4 continue flowing. When 2 streams flood and become unnavigable, 5 remain accessible. The number 7 itself carries significance in Scripture, representing completeness and divine order. Diversification across 7 streams creates a complete system of provision that mirrors the completeness of divine wisdom. The 7 streams concept translates Solomon's ancient principle into modern financial architecture. Each stream represents a distinct source of income that operates according to different rules, flows through different channels, and responds to different conditions. The first stream might flow from rental properties, providing monthly income from real estate. The second stream might emerge from dividend-paying investments, delivering quarterly returns from corporate profits. The third stream could spring from intellectual property, generating royalties from creative work completed years earlier. The fourth stream might arise from automated digital products, selling information or tools around the clock. The fifth stream could develop from business systems that operate with minimal ongoing involvement. The sixth stream might flow from agricultural or natural resources that produce recurring harvests. The seventh stream could emerge from peer lending or strategic partnerships that generate interest or profit shares. The power of 7 streams lies not in the specific categories, but in the principle they embody. Multiple independent sources create stability that no single source can provide. When employment income disappears during economic recession, investment income may continue or even increase as markets shift. When rental income decreases due to local market conditions, intellectual property income may rise as different markets discover your work. When one business system requires attention and temporarily produces less income, 6 other systems continue operating. This is the lived reality of Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 2 in modern application. Yet Solomon's wisdom extends beyond simple diversification into deeper strategic thinking. 1 Kings chapter 10 verse 22 describes how King Solomon had a fleet of ships of Tarshish at sea with the fleet of Hiram. Once every 3 years, the fleet of ships of Tarshish used to come bringing gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks. This passage reveals the second critical principle, the establishment of trade routes that function independently of daily oversight. Transport yourself to the ancient ports where Solomon's ships departed. These were not small fishing vessels requiring constant supervision. These were massive trading ships, crewed by experienced sailors, traveling established routes, conducting business according to predetermined agreements. Solomon invested resources into building these ships, training the crews, establishing relationships with distant trading partners, and creating systems for regular commerce. Once established, these trade routes operated on a 3-year cycle, returning with wealth that required no additional labor from Solomon himself during their voyages. The trade route principle teaches that wealth requires infrastructure. Solomon did not personally sail to distant lands to acquire goods. He built a system that accomplished this objective without his presence. The ships themselves represented capital investment. The crews represented human resources, properly trained and compensated. The established routes represented market research and relationship building. The 3-year cycle represented patient investment, expecting returns over time, rather than demanding immediate results. Every element of modern passive income appears in this ancient system. This principle confronts another common misconception: the belief that passive income requires no initial investment of time, money, or effort. Solomon's trade routes required enormous initial investment. Building ships, training crews, negotiating partnerships, mapping routes, all demanded significant resources before the first voyage ever returned profit. Yet once the system was operational, it generated wealth far exceeding the initial investment and continued generating wealth for decades. Building wealth that requires little ongoing labor begins with understanding a crucial distinction: labor-intensive wealth and system-intensive wealth. Labor-intensive wealth demands your continuous presence and effort. The physician earns substantial income, but must personally see patients. The attorney commands high fees, but must personally represent clients. The consultant charges premium rates, but must personally deliver services. System-intensive wealth shifts the foundation. Instead of selling your time repeatedly, you build a structure that delivers value repeatedly. Consider the author who writes a book. The writing process demands intense labor over months or years. Research, composition, editing, refinement all require focused effort. Yet once the book is published, it can sell copies for decades with minimal additional work. The author created a system for delivering value that operates independently. Each book sale represents income that required no labor beyond the initial creation. This is the principle of leverage. One creation serves many customers. One system produces multiple returns. One investment generates compound benefits. The digital age has expanded the possibilities for system building beyond anything available in ancient times. Online courses deliver knowledge to thousands without requiring the teacher to repeat lessons. Digital templates solve problems for countless users without requiring the creator to offer individual assistance. Automated investment platforms allocate capital according to predetermined strategies without requiring constant monitoring. Rental properties provide housing, while property management systems handle daily operations. Each of these represents a modern trade route, a system built with intentionality that continues functioning with oversight rather than constant operation. Yet building these systems requires a specific mindset shift. You must think like an architect rather than a laborer. The laborer asks what task needs doing today. The architect asks what structure needs building that will function for years. The laborer focuses on immediate income. The architect focuses on future streams. The laborer trades time for money. The architect invests time into building systems that generate money independently. Solomon functioned as an architect of wealth, designing structures that would outlive him and continue providing for generations. Automating your financial kingdom means identifying the repeatable value you can provide, then building the most efficient system for delivering that value to those who need it. This begins with a question: what knowledge, skill, resource, or solution do you possess that others need consistently? Once you identify this, you can design a system for delivery. If you possess knowledge, create educational products. If you possess skills, develop tools or templates that embody those skills. If you possess resources, structure them for efficient use by others. If you possess solutions, automate their delivery through technology or trained systems. The critical insight is that you are designing for multiplication, not addition. Addition says, if you work another hour, you earn another hour of income. Multiplication says, if you build another system, you create another stream that flows continuously. The path from addition to multiplication requires upfront investment without immediate return. This is where most people abandon the journey. They cannot tolerate working intensely on something that produces no income today, even though it will produce abundant income tomorrow. Solomon's trade routes required 3 years before returning profit. Modern systems may require months or years of building before generating significant income. The patience to invest today for tomorrow's harvest separates those who build lasting wealth from those who merely earn temporary income. Stewardship answers the question that passive income raises. Once these streams begin flowing, where does the abundance go? This is where Solomon's wisdom reveals its deepest dimension. Wealth is never an end in itself. Wealth is a tool for purpose, a resource for impact, a means for legacy. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22 teaches that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. This inheritance is not merely financial, it is the wisdom to steward resources well. the character to use abundance for good, and the vision to build systems that serve beyond a single lifetime. The 7 streams create capacity for generosity that occasional income cannot provide. When your livelihood depends on a single paycheck, unexpected expenses create crisis, and charitable giving becomes impossible. When 7 streams flow consistently, individual variations in one stream do not threaten your foundation, and sustained giving becomes natural. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 25 declares that whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered. This is not manipulation or religious transaction. This is the recognition that wealth concentrated and hoarded stagnates and eventually dissipates, while wealth circulated and deployed multiplies and creates lasting impact. The principle of stewardship reframes the entire pursuit of passive income. You are not building streams to achieve leisure or escape responsibility. You are building streams to increase your capacity for meaningful work, generous giving, and purposeful living. The physician who creates a system generating passive income can reduce patient hours and devote time to research or teaching. The entrepreneur who builds multiple income streams can fund ventures that serve overlooked communities. The creative professional who automates portions of income can pursue projects that matter more than those that pay most. This is the true promise of Solomon's wisdom. Not freedom from work, but freedom for work that matters most. The 7-stream strategy transforms how you view your current resources. Every skill represents a potential stream waiting to be systematized. Every relationship represents a possible partnership or trade route. Every asset represents productive capacity that could generate ongoing returns. The question shifts from, how do I earn more money today, to what systems can I build that will generate income tomorrow? This question opens possibilities invisible to those focused only on immediate earnings. Ancient wisdom teaches that time is the ultimate non-renewable resource. You can acquire new skills, develop new relationships, obtain new assets, but you cannot create additional time. The person who trades time for money is spending their most valuable resource on their least renewable resource. The person who invests time into building systems that generate money is leveraging their most valuable resource to create renewable abundance. Solomon built a kingdom that continued prospering long after his reign ended because he built systems and structures rather than merely performing tasks and collecting payments. As you stand at the beginning of this journey, remember that every stream begins with a single decision to redirect resources from immediate consumption toward future production. The farmer who eats all his seed has nothing to plant. The merchant who spends all his capital has nothing to invest. The wise steward who dedicates time, energy, and resources toward building streams accepts temporary sacrifice for permanent benefit. The path is ancient. The principles are proven. The wisdom is available. The choice to begin walking this path is yours alone. And maybe, just maybe, as you apply the 7-stream strategy with patience and wisdom, you will discover what Solomon knew 3,000 years ago. That true wealth is not measured by how much you earn in a single day, but by how many streams flow through every season, supporting not only your needs, but enabling you to serve purposes far greater than yourself. If this reflection resonated, follow the path of the Solomon Wealth Code, where ancient wisdom meets modern application, and every teaching guides you toward sustainable abundance built on timeless principles.